This is Renditions Radio, and your host, Tanya Tatiana, Lyrics SMC, Grace McDaniel. I am having a special edition. This is the Christmas edition. So I thought that I would include some holiday songs and also talk about real things that are happening in the world today, such as rights being completely demolished from Americans in the United States. We are living in some serious times where the First Amendment is being depleted from people. I had a state capitol employee put an illegal restrainer against my free speech after reporting such employee, and such employee has harassed me for years with media and cops. And if you have viewed my Renditions Radio and my YouTube pages, then you already are aware that the lawless team game was made from terrorizing my equal rights, because I'm a lawful whistleblower, against MK Ultra Voodoo, FCC TV satellite spy breach, ELF mind control radiation towers, and frequency flyers used to violate human rights in an illegal experiment of violating my rights. And I am a survivor of rape, incest rape, NFL abuse from my abusive ex that I dated for 2 years, retired NFL Raider Lester Hayes, who knew the racist cops that tried to kill me for risking my life for my black ex-boyfriend during Davis police brutality. After I reported Davis PD's felon family that were my neighbors, they were drug trafficking, child abusing, etc., related to racist PD Figueroa, who was sued for beating a black man in 2016. The Figueroas have a history of being cops and being in the government. Richard Figueroa was Associative Director of Gavin Newsom. When I put a restrainer against the Capitol employee, 2020 CV 1157, Judge Dan Walk scribbled out the information about Figueroa and the Capitol employee. So, I mean, you can see that free speech is being completely eliminated. He made the attempt even as to change the restrainer appointment that I put against the Capitol employee, and from Department 9 to Department 10, and then would not allow me into the Zoom meeting. So, you know, it's a society where deception is trying to cover a team game where UC Davis minions, Hassan Minaj, Cam Country, John Party, Despacito writers, Greta Gerwig, Black Panther director, and even the Figueroa's family that are related to convicted murderers Enrique and Jesus Campos that killed a Jewish woman from the Bay Area and a black teen from Woodland, California. And I am multiracial DNA and Jewish DNA. And, you know, they don't talk about any of these things happening in society. The Davis Islamic Center went national for Jew hating. The Figueroa's family were members of such Islamic Center. And so was Hassan Minaj, quite honestly. You know, this is the time of season, of course, to talk about holiday kindness and giving and so forth. But it's hard to do when you've had your rights completely eliminated from you. I've never had a felony. I've never had a 5150. I have ongoing lawsuits. The Capitol employee committed penalty of perjury, and Dan Walk allowed that. She filed a restrainer against my free speech after reporting to Davis PD on a report of 7/3/2020 that I am not a harm, and that she only wanted me to stop calling the state capitol, in which, of course, I only called twice in the 2 years to report the employee, to which, of course, I cannot say the name because I am trying not to violate a restrainer that was falsely placed against me. And, I'm astonished because I look at these things in society and I say, wow, Trump had death threats made against him from all sorts of people, and people calling the Capitol and the White House and making death threats and saying all sorts of things, and they are never restrained. And I have never made death threats against anybody or violent harm or harm to anybody of any sort. And I'm the one that is the survivor of violent crimes and vile crimes. And I'm the one that is a lawful whistleblower. But because of that reason is why they put conspiracies against me and lying slander codes against me to communicate to society and TikTok Nation and all the colleges that want to be gamers in society this language that, is understood from teamers, from gamers that want to succeed from a game literally made from hate crimes against me in my United States. I'm from a military family that goes back generations and generations since the beginning of the United States, and I'm also Native Indian, and my family has always been here. And my white ancestors, they helped build the United States. I think of all of these things and I think, America is not America anymore. And the resources that were here for Americans, those people are on the streets. Their ancestors built the United States, and they're being completely taken over from a state capital that has now hired like 70 to 80% Latinos. And, I'm from a blended family, and I also have Spanish DNA. I'm multiracial. I have a plethora of, DNA in my mix. And also I'm from a blended family. Um, and yet I see all of these things happening. And I'm astonished that DACA and, migrants and just a cult society of cops and gamers, and they are just completely taking over. And voodoo has now replaced the law. HUD housing is being replaced from DACA owning affordable housing. The state capitol employee that works for supporting DACA programs has moved to my mother's low-income housing where my mom has SSDI. No, she has SSI. I have SSDI for PTSD, for being a survivor of violent crimes, and I'm my mother's caregiver. She moved to my mom's low-income housing apartments, and I didn't even know that she lived there for years. And, running sirens with her criminal cop friends and, for years. And has the audacity to put that in the restrainer as to say, oh, she's taking pictures of these cops. Yes, parked outside my mom's place for years, harassing me and misusing their sirens. And I had no idea that she even lived at my mom's apartments and totally doesn't qualify. If your household makes more than $50,000 a year, you don't qualify for HUD housing. And you're taking an opportunity away from an impoverished family. As somebody that, I can humbly say, even though I dated a raider for 2 years, and, the world has made all these scheming against me and, chase after my dreams because I'm the talent. I sang flawlessly at the Giants in 1998. Okay, quite a many years ago. And they weren't making any games in voodoo codes then. You know what I'm saying? They were making and sophisticating MK Ultra against society in 1998. And I'm a lawful whistleblower. So let's see. What is that about? Matrix and Matrix Code. Oracle Park AT&T Park is now Oracle Park. Isn't that fascinating? That is. As the scheming and gaming and the courts saying that my lawsuits are delusional so that they can get away with their crimes, and I've posted Lester Hayes vids on my Instagram and YouTube, and I have referenced their corruption and their hate crimes, while they cover my rapist perpetrators and P.D. Figueroa and his gang family and felon child rapist Ron Herrera, on Davis Megan's Law related to P.D. Zuniga, and the state capitol employee has sought to cover my rapist perpetrators and child rapist Gina Denise Pickett Prince. Yeah, that's my sister, and her firefighter daughter, LGBTQ, Nicole Herrera of Woodland Firefighters. Her friends were my drug trafficking neighbors, also connected to the Capitol employee, connected to P.D. Zuniga's family that were trafficking, and they were my neighbors. And, it's many, many years of this catastrophe and blacklisting, and their friends have chased after my music dreams. They've chased after all of my dreams as punishment of being a whistleblower and a survivor of things that they could not survive, while communicating a code and trying to get away with their heinousness. DOJ Baeza, whose wife is Leticia Ordez of KCRA 3, is also friends with the Capitol employee, and Baeza's relative is David Lara. He is also on Megan's Law of Sacramento, which I reported Gina Denise Pickett Prince on Megan's Law. And, David Lara was a social worker, and he participated in the abuse of my beloved stepfather, who had dementia and was abused horrifically at the Davis Convalescent, where they hire corrupt riffraff that are related to cops, related to the Millers and the Figueroas, and, Houston and Hernandez, and just a slew of riffraff that put my stepfather's name on pink paper arrowing to his room, violating his privacy, violating his safety, and ultimately being harassing and trying to deceive the world. My stepfather was an amazing person, and they abused him till he died. They dehydrated him, and he was lawful, he was beloved, he also worked for Tandem, and he never said a mean thing about anybody, and they violated him and abused him to make hate crimes to me. And of course, just of many of the hate crimes I've endured in my community. And, then they mocked abusing him on Good Day Sacramento Media, where a Perez family is connected to them and the Figueroas. And the Perezes their family were my co-workers at USDA. I worked there many years ago, United States Department of Agriculture. I also worked for the government. Wow. And many years ago, and have plaques and awards and letters from the state conservationist awarding me many years ago. And so, they collaborate with them because they're their friends and they harass me, etc. So, you know, I am saying these things because we are living in times where we are entering a place where socialism will be turning into communism, and people's liberties will be completely diminished, and that is the society that we're living in now. You know, I mean, as far as socialism goes, you know, that's supposed to be for those that are, you know, the underdogs, so to speak. They're the people that are blacklisted, not looked at, not helped. Their rights are diminished because of their race or their appearance, you know. And obviously I fit that bill because I am multiracial, even though I look white. I risked my life for my black ex-boyfriend. And I'm also Jewish DNA. And I'm also somebody that is a qualified member of ADA, American Disability. I have SSDI for PTSD, and I'm a woman. I don't know anybody more qualified than me. Being multiracial, being a survivor of violent crimes, never having a felony or 5150, being a woman, and being on SSDI. And yet I can't get anybody to advocate for me because it's a lawless global movement, and they've blacklisted me from housing, they've blacklisted me from my free speech, they've blacklisted me in my community. I don't feel comfortable or safe going anywhere in my community because of the hate crimes that I've endured. And I don't have the money to relocate. And I have PTSD. This is my town. Davis is my town. But to honor the season and to whence my help and strength is from. This is Renditions Radio, Christmas edition.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, and loving you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior, born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings, comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings, comfort and joy. God rest ye merry gentlemen, loving you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior, born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings, comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, 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 joy. Ooh, joy, joy, joy. Ooh, joy. Roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost, anything that you knows. The tag house being sung from a choir, folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes on a glue find it hard to sleep tonight. Santa's on his way, loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. Never mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to case from 1 to 92. It's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.